Hello guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, today is Tony's birthday, and I put out a community post, and she's going to do a Q&A, a special Q&A. I don't know how long she'll be on here tonight, but I told guys, if you had any questions, and you guys had some really good questions for her personally, in the comment section of that community post, and she'll be doing a Q&A with you guys tonight at 7 o'clock on this channel, so you guys can look out for that. Now I want to talk about a story that I've been covering for a while, and it's about this woman up here. Everybody's knows this woman. This woman, from her crime, has got her some negative notoriety, but notoriety that's the same. Her name is Bionca Ellis. And this is the woman that stabbed this child up here and his mother, Margot Wood, who I always forget the name. My apologies. This little boy's name is Julian Wood. He's 3 years old. If you remember the story correctly, Miss Ellis followed them out of a store with a knife in her hand, in plain sight. And as they were getting to the car to put their groceries in the car, from a Giant Eagle, a supermarket called Giant Eagle out there in North Olmsted, Ohio, shout out, they were attacked by Miss Ellis, where Julian Wood lost his life. Now, she's appeared in court yesterday again, right? I guess this is the pre-trial or whatever. She appeared in court, and some new developments have came out, and the defense is trying to say that she's not competent to stand trial, which I disagree with, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But here's the first video, and then when we come back, I'm gonna say a little bit, and then I'm gonna show you the full court thing. It's very interesting, so stay tuned.
We're following new developments in the case of a woman accused of stabbing and killing a 3-year-old boy and injuring his mother. Bionca Ellis was in court this morning for a pretrial hearing.
News 5 reporter Catherine Ross explains how her mental health could play a role in the proceedings.
Dinosaurs, plush toys, and the color green. Some of Julian Wood's favorite things surround an angelic photo of the 3-year-old.
Yeah, it was a really sad, shocking incident.
The mound of gifts and mementos has been building outside the North Olmsted Giant Eagle, where police say a random attacker fatally stabbed the little boy and injured his mother in early June.
It was very, very upsetting that someone would do that to a child and their mother.
This growing memorial has become a constant reminder of the tragedy here in North Olmsted. Now the question is, what happens next? And legal experts tell me there are numerous possible scenarios.
All right, so we're here this morning, case 692604, Bionca Ellis.
The woman accused in Julian's death hung her head and at one point smiled at our camera during a pretrial hearing in Cuyahoga County Court Tuesday morning. Bionca Ellis is charged with 10 felony counts. Last month, investigators say she shoplifted a knife at a thrift store and walked into the nearby grocery store before randomly attacking the 3-year-old and his mother. Ellis is scheduled for trial in December, but after a psychiatric evaluation, her attorneys say that shouldn't happen.
At this point, Ms. Ellis is incompetent and not able to assist in her defense and cannot stand trial.
The judge ordered another evaluation through the court psychiatric clinic. Case Western criminal law professor Michael Benza says if Ellis is found incompetent, the state will have up to a year to restore her mental health before the case can proceed.
Given what we know about this tragic case, mental health is a big part of what's going to be part of that case.
Benza explains if Ellis can stand trial, plea of not guilty by reason of insanity could be on the table, looking at her state of mind during the crime. If a jury ultimately convicts the defendant, a state ban on executing someone with mental illness could factor into her sentencing. And Benza says if the case does not move forward at all, her mental health could be a question for a probate court.
Is she so mentally ill that we have civil procedures that could put her in a care facility because she is either a danger to herself or she is a danger to others?
The next step could be determined by mid-August. In North Olmsted, some in the community tell us they want accountability for Julian's death and justice for his family.
It would be an injustice, I think, for the community because there's no justice for where justice is really deserved.
In North Olmsted, Catherine Ross, News 5.
That's the news of them talking about what happened, but they didn't give you all of the stuff, details. But I want to talk about a couple of things. Seeing this, I think of two things. She has paid lawyers and they're going to do their best to try to get her out of that. They're going to do their job and try to get her out of this situation. I think the first thing is they know she's going to get smoked. And the first thing they're trying to do is a ploy to avoid the death penalty. Oh, she can't testify and she can't this, she can't that. She's not fit to stand trial. Could have fooled me the way she acted in them first two court situations, smiling. She was coherent. She knew where she was. She knew what she did. Now, the defense is doing what the defense does. A lot of people ain't trying to feel it. You killed the baby, stabbed a woman on purpose. You was coherent then when you did the crime. Now, the second thing is they want to avoid jail time and get her committed. Of course, you know, they're saying, oh, she's crazy. She should be in the home. You got to remember something. The main motive of what this girl did, Bionca Ellis, and we spoke about it on here before anybody else did, she did not want to be out in the street. You know what I'm saying? She was tired of being homeless. We seen the buildup in all of the other news articles about her. Her down there in Florida, not knowing she had to pay resort fees and being out in the street, she didn't want to be out there. She had on that red sweatsuit. It's cold outside. Can you just lock me up and send me to jail? When she was in California, she was in the hospital. They tried to get her out of there. She fought on the people and went and hid in the room somewhere because she didn't want to be outside. She was tired of being outside. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with not wanting to be homeless no more. But what she did was far, far in left field. What she did with Julian Wood and his mother Margot Wood, that attack. And it was calculated. It was. She was asked to go to jail multiple times. She's locked up. She seemed happy when she was in court, not worrying about it getting out like normal people, because when you're in court, usually it ain't no smiles and it ain't fun and games because you know you want to get out. She's right where she wanted to be. They said it carried a thing where she could possibly get the death penalty. I don't know how big North Olmsted is, but it seemed like a tight-knit community. And everybody has sorrowful feelings for the Wood family. And anybody would. You know what I'm saying? Honestly. Because they lost, the man, the husband, lost his son and could have lost his wife. Let's get into this court thing. It's about 5 or 6 minutes long. I'll show you the whole thing, the entirety. Watch the defense. Watch how they come out and watch the reaction of your girl when she's sitting there. It's totally different than how she was in that first court picture where she was smiling and doing all this stupid stuff because she was the center of attention. Once you're in jail and it settles on you, and you're around people a lot of times you can't stand or wouldn't be around in real life, and you're constantly bombarded by noise and craziness and violence, kind of plays a different tool on your psyche. Check out a reaction. Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Remember the live stream tonight, Q&A with Tony. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care.
News coming to you from our digital desk. We're going to be taking you into the Cuyahoga County Court of Common Pleas for a pretrial hearing. This is into the June stabbing death of that 3-year-old little boy at Giant Eagle in North Olmsted. Julian Wood is his name. His mother was also stabbed. Julian was killed. This is a pretrial, and there's a lot of facets to this case because the accused, Bionca Ellis, is going to be potentially facing the death penalty. There's going to have to be a lot of work done in the courts before they even get to what is a December scheduled trial. So it's always interesting to see what is being discussed. Are they going to have to do a mental health evaluation? Is that a part of what today's hearing is? We'll have to wait and see. But again, this is all a part of what will lead up to a potential death penalty or a capital murder case. In the state of Ohio, when you're charged, and there is Bionca Ellis, we weren't sure if she would be making an actual appearance, We've seen some erratic behavior out of her in the past. So let's take a live listen in.
692-604 Bionca Ellis. She's present in court this morning with her counsel, Mr. Mack, Mr. Johnson, and Mr. Summers. Assistant County Prosecutor Ms. Faralia and Ms. Patel are here on behalf of the state of Ohio. We're here this morning for this matter. Court's looking for a few updates from the parties as well. I'll note for the record that we did set it for trial for December 9th. Looks like we inadvertently put December 6th on the journal entry, so that in fact is a wrong date. That's a Friday, I think. So it's in fact December 9th that the trial date is set with respect to this case. If I can go to the state of Ohio, I know there had been some discussions about discovery and where that discovery might be, as well as I think the autopsy report, and then I could go to the counsel for Ms. Ellis and hear from them. Thank you. Ms. Faralia, good morning.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. Yes, we have been complying with our discovery requirements. We have sent over documentation for the defense with regards to the autopsy. It is my understanding that it in fact has been completed, and the state should have it in its possession by the end of the week, and then we will transfer it over to defense counsel. In addition, the state still has some outstanding subpoenas for some additional documentation. As soon as we get that, we will turn that over as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Mr. Mack, Mr. Johnson, if you want to be heard then this morning, I'll hear from both of you. Any concerns about that discovery or anything for the record regarding Ms. Ellis?
I don't think so, Judge.
Okay, very good. And then with respect to Ms. Ellis?
Judge, during the month of June, Mr. Johnson and I met with Ms. Ellis. And as a result of that interview, we came back to this court. We petitioned the court to see if we could get an expert on the board to interview Ms. Ellis. And that was in fact done during the first week of July. Subsequently, our expert communicated with Mr. Johnson and I and believes that at this point Ms. Ellis is incompetent and not able to assist in her defense and cannot stand trial. So we're asking the court to respectfully have her referred to North Coast Behavioral so that she can be restored if possible.
All right, Mr. Mack. I know for the state of Ohio, you know, that report is under seal as provided to counsel. They have the opportunity to have that interview, which they did. The court's unaware of that and being made today with a request to refer her to North Coast. Obviously, I'm not going to ask the state of Ohio to stipulate to something you haven't seen, but I will ask what your thoughts are about the state of Ohio either wanting the court to provide a report through our court psychiatric clinic and or whether you're going to opt to have someone else privately hired by yourself.
The state, Your Honor, at this time is going to respectfully request that she be referred to the court psychiatric clinic for evaluation under seal, and that report is to be provided to you and to the state and to the defense.
Okay. So that being the case, I know it's about a 30-day window. I will just say that I'll have my bailiff call there to make sure that the clinical psychologist who's in charge, Dr. Songer, is aware of the report needing to be done timely, and then also to make sure that either he or someone who has the experience be able to handle that report for this court for her determination of whether she's competent to stand trial. Regarding that, going 30 days out, I'll ask that report to be completed August 13th. We would ask the parties to be back in the court to have a discussion on what next steps might be regarding the findings from our court psychiatric clinic, as well as discussions about what would be next for Ms. Ellis if in fact they also find her to be incompetent to stand trial as well. So is the 13th something that is available on all of your calendars? So that would be August.
On behalf of the state, it's fine, Your Honor.
Yeah. On behalf of Ms. Ellis, we're good as well.
Okay. All right. So we'll go ahead and set that date, have the parties appear here for the hearing, and then I'll refer Ms. Ellis to the court psychiatric clinic to have them make a determination of competency regarding this matter. Anything further then from the state?
None, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. And on behalf of Ms. Ellis, Mr. Mack.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you all for being timely, and then we'll adjourn with respect to today's matter. Thank you.
Dan DeRose with 19 News. As you've just heard, this is all about trying to determine if Bionca Ellis is competent to stand trial. Her own attorneys that have been appointed to her by the state obviously saying that she is not competent, that they had their own professional psychologist try to interview her. That is under seal. We're not sure what the questions were, what the answers were, or exactly what it is that has her own attorney saying she is incompetent. But now, as a legal matter, you can't just go on what her attorneys are saying. Of course, now the court and the state has their own psychiatric evaluation that's going to happen with a psychologist. They've asked that it happen within 30 days, be completed within 30 days. Her attorneys were trying to get her transferred to North Coast. That is a mental health facility trying to, again, say that she's incompetent for trial, so let's get her to North Coast and get her some help. But the state, and unfortunately, the way the judicial system works, you can't just say that and send her off. There has to be verification on both sides. That'll happen within the next 30 days, and we'll be back in court on August 13th. And that'll be an interesting pre-trial hearing as well, because once she has that evaluation from the state side, the judge will review that evaluation and could make a ruling that day whether or not she will be competent to stand trial or if the judge is going to take some more time to review that. So we're going to follow this case. Of course, you'll remember it was 3-year-old little Julian Wood who was stabbed and killed in the parking lot allegedly by Bionca Ellis. There is overwhelming evidence that it was her, and it's going to be a tall order for any kind of defense. But when we're talking about a capital murder case, potential death penalty case, you have to let this play out. She has rights, and she has to be given full confidence within the court system. We're going to wrap this up. If we have any other breaking news, it'll be right here on our digital platforms. Otherwise, watch for our 11 o'clock news and our noon news on CW43, then on Channel 19. I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News. Have a good afternoon.